Hi everyone, this is John with Guitars and Gear, and today I want to go over this big beast here. This is the REVV Generator 120 Mark III. I've had this amp for a little bit now. It is a beast, and we're going to talk about it right after this. Okay guys, welcome back. So if you haven't heard of REVV before, and they're pretty popular, so you probably have heard of them. If you haven't heard of them, they're a company up in Winnipeg, Canada, and they make amps, and darn good ones too. So this one here is their flagship for this year, or last year I guess, for 2020, and I guess 2021. This is the REVV Generator 120 Mark III. It's the third iteration of this amp, and it's a good one. Let me just go over real quick. They did not send this to me. They didn't give me a discount of any kind. I paid with my own money, had to sell a few things to get it. But this does retail in the United States for $3,299, so it's not cheap, but it is pretty awesome. And we're gonna go through the features of it, kind of an overview of all the features of it, and give you guys some sound samples, and we'll call it a day. In future videos, I do plan on going over some more details of it. There's a lot to go over with this thing, and just to keep this video a little bit shorter, we'll get to most of that stuff next time. Before I go much further, all the sound samples you're gonna hear, the signal chain is just the REVV right here going through my Marshall cabinet, some Celestion speakers in it. And I'm going through a knockoff SM57 I got off Amazon for, I think it was around 20 bucks. But it does sound pretty darn good, at least I think so. So that's the signal chain. It's going into my audio interface, and then from the audio interface is going into Studio One, which is going to record all the sound samples. And I'll just kind of overdub my voice as I go. What I'll do is go through each channel and everything. So without further ado, when you do unbox this thing, when you do get it, it's got some really cool stuff included, including a REVV winter cap, or I guess you folks up in Canada call these tubes, but that is what you get. Sorry, just had a phone call come in as usual, right when I'm in the middle of recording. But anyway, this is a really nice knit cap, or tube if you're Canadian. Very nice, included in the box. You got this REVV little case here, if I can get the glare out of it. So it's just a little tin. Inside of it is a cleaning cloth, which is pretty large in size, and not sure exactly why I need this for this amp, but you can see it's pretty large. Guess you can towel off with it. And then inside you've got some REVV picks of different colors and so forth. So pretty cool, little extra stuff. And then here you got a little REVV, like a little booklet thing. It's kind of like faux leather bound, but inside of it, this is really cool. It's like a certificate of authenticity, and it's got all the quality assurance and testing that's been done to this before they shipped it, which is really cool. It's got all the initials of folks that have worked on it. And yeah, it shows you the model, the date that it was manufactured, which is January 29th of 2021, which is cool. And yeah, got the serial number and all that great stuff on there. Really cool. Little thing like this goes a real long way, especially when you're spending a lot of money on an amp. But yeah, this thing is awesome. And you guys, well, you're gonna hear it. Let's see, what else did they include? They included this awesome, kind of like a dust cover, little cover for the amp, which is real nice. Goes right over top, has a hole cut out in top for the handle. You can see through there. Boom. And yeah, it's a nice canvas type cover, and yeah, does a real good job. And that's embroidered REVV logo on there, which is real nice. So the little things like that, you don't pay extra for that. That just comes all in the box. Okay, with signal chain, I told you the amp, I told you the, well, obviously the amp, the cabinet, microphone. The guitar I'm going to be playing through is my MKIII Vader 6-string with the trim, with the hip shot trim. This is an awesome guitar. If anybody knows of MKIII, they are a great guitar brand. Had this for a few years now, and I just absolutely love it. So the MKIII lithium pickups are what are in here, and they're custom made by MKIII. And so there you go. So that's the signal chain you'll hear later. And so without further ado, let's go through what this amp is. So when I do the playing part, you're going to get a close-up and voiceover, obviously, of what I'm doing. I just want to give you a quick overview of what we're dealing with here. This is a 4-channel amp. It's got a clean, kind of like a crunch or classic kind of Marshall-y kind of sound to it. Channel 3 and channel 4 are high gain channels. They're very similar, but there's some subtle differences that you'll hear once we get into the playing. For the channel 1 and 2, you have channel 1 has a wide button or a wide switch, so kind of just makes it a much bigger sound, and you'll hear that as we go. There's a store button, a bright switch. The bright switch works on both channel 1 and channel 2. Channel 1 gives you your treble, mid, and bass, and a level control. On channel 2, you get the addition of a gain control on there, which is pretty nice, so you can control the gain. Also on channel 2, you have a drive kind of indicator right here. So, and I'll demo this at default, and then there's a blue and a red drive, and it just imagine throwing like a tube screamer on there, or like an overdrive, something like that. That's kind of what you're getting with that. So you absolutely need no pedals, overdrives, boosts, or any of that kind on this amp, at least not in my opinion. Channel 3 and 4, they both share a couple things. They both are going to have gain, treble, mid, bass, and level controls. And they also have the addition of these aggression kind of modes on it as well. So they both have a blue and green aggression mode that just kind of makes it just that much more raw. So you guys will hear that. There's also a bright switch, a cut, so a mid-gain cut, and then a fat switch that just kind of thickens up your sound a little bit. It gives you a little more of that bottom end. There's also a built-in reverb, which actually sounds pretty darn nice, and a noise gate built in, which is very awesome as well. Rounding it out, you have 2 master volumes. So if you want to set some master volumes a little bit differently for your rhythm and your lead, that you can very well do that with this. And there's presence and depth controls. Now the whole secret within this thing is the 2 notes capture or 2 notes technology, I should say. But it's basically like a 2 notes capture X that's built into this thing. And I can't think of any other better way to describe it. But what that is gives you this cab selector here. It's a virtual cab selector, so you can have 6 different virtual cabs dialed in here, and your separate level control, headphone jack, and you have this Bluetooth option right here, which is for the 2 Notes remote app that you can have on your cell phone or your tablet, and you can use that to control all of the 2 Notes cool stuff that's in here, which is very cool. So yeah, that's all built right into this guy right here, so it's very cool. All right, so we're going to switch around the back here, and I'll just kind of edit this part out of where I'm turning it around, but we'll come right back and you'll see this thing spun around. Okay, so here we are taking a look at the back of the amp here. We have our power input, and we have 2. There's the mains fuse and an HV fuse. I'm not sure exactly what those are. Well, the mains make sense. There's also a fuse V1 and V3, and fuse V2 and V4. And they both have a fault light on them if they do go bad, and option to change those out. And then for biasing the tubes, you do have these, whatever we call them, little holes you can stick stuff in to bias them. Obviously, I've never done that. So here's the 2 Notes kind of technology that's built into this thing. So you do have two XLR outs, a left and a right. You also have a ground loop for the USB, or for these guys. There's also a USB port on here. You have your reverb level control on the back and your gate threshold control on the back. So these are just dials. I have the reverb just dialed all the way to the max, just so you guys can hear it when we go through the demo. And let's see, we also have a power attenuator kind of thing that takes it from 120 watts all the way down to 10 watts. So I'm in 10 watt mode right now. If you push the button in, you're in 120 watt mode. I don't need any more than 10 watts here at home. On stage or whatever, you know, it would come in handy if I ever went on stage. So I'll probably leave it in the 10 watt mode pretty much forever. There is also the internal load that you can engage or the speaker out. So I am going to have it plugged into a 4x12 cabinet here. So I am not going to need the internal load at all. But if you do forget to plug it in and you don't have this pushed into internal mode, don't worry. It will automatically switch to the internal load if it doesn't detect a speaker connection. So that's really cool. But otherwise, if you do have it plugged in, like to these outputs here for the 2 notes portion of it, then you can have that pushed in and it'll just default. I would suggest you just push it in if you're not going to have a speaker connected. Let's see, FX loop, send and return, I think I covered that. Cab lighting, so if you do have a REV cabinet, their REV cabinets do have lighting on the logo, which will match the lighting on the amp, and we'll see that once it's turned on. There's also a foot switch included, and it looks just like this. And so it's very light. It's like there's nothing in there, but it's some foot switches, and you can also program the options on the amp and assign them to the different options. So by default, there's like channel 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then the effects loop and switching between the 2 main outputs, or 2 main volume controls. So that's pretty much it, and it is all powered by the MIDI port. Sorry, I'm having trouble remembering what I'm talking about. So with the foot switch, you do have a MIDI through and a MIDI in, and also you have plenty of options to plug in a cabinet or multiple cabinets. You have 2 4-ohm connections, you have 2 8-ohm 1/4 inch connections, and a 16-ohm connection. So that rounds out the back of the amp, and very cool stuff. So when we come back, we're going to turn it around, we're going to plug it in, and we're going to play you guys some tones so you can check it out. All right, we'll be right back. Okay guys, so now we're going to get into the playing part of this whole deal. So as you can see, it's turned on right now. We're on the blue channel. I know it might be a little difficult to see, but we are on the blue, and see that right up there. So we're on channel 1, and you can see everything is pretty much level here. So we got it pretty much level. Let's make it level on each one of these before we get started too much into this. Let's see, everything there is pretty good. That's pretty good. Okay, so you can see we're on channel 1. Nothing else is on right now. So on channel 1, you can also use the reverb and the gate if you'd like. And again, you can do the wide and bright as well as these options right here with the treble, middle, and bass. So right out of the gate, this is on the neck pickup with the Kiesel. Here's what we get. So it sounds really good already, and we haven't really done much yet. But if we go ahead and hit that wide button there, and then you can see it's red now. You can see what that does. just see it really gives it a lot more, like just a lot more, I guess is the best way to put it. All right, so the bright switch. So if we hit the bright switch, you can see how bright that is. I tend to not like that too much. So yeah, I just kind of like it without the bright on, but it is an option there for you. And also, like I said, we could do the gate and the reverb. So not really much use for a gate right here on this channel, but let's do the reverb. You can kind of get an idea what this sounds like. So it's a pretty nice reverb sound in there. So very nice channel, and we haven't even messed with any of these options yet, but we're just going to leave everything neutral so you guys get a good idea what it sounds like just at the neutral settings. So let's go drop down to channel 2. And channel 2 is our green channel. So like I said, it's more of a crunch kind of channel. And you get this as we're on the bridge pickup here of the Kiesel now. So very AC/DC-ish already, but we can take this a step further here and we can add in some drive. So go ahead and push it once. Now you can see there's a little bit of hum coming out now. So we'll leave it alone. We're not going to do any gate yet, but it's kind of still acceptable. So, and we have the gain about halfway, like I said. So here's on the blue drive setting. You can see it getting a little bit more aggressive here. Let's hit that button again and let's get in. Now you can see it's pushing it a little harder, getting a little bit more noise. And so we do have that noise. Let's hit the gate. And this is about, I think about 60%. And gone. And completely gone. Pretty cool. Let's add some reverb in there. So you get a little bit of that reverb in there, kind of a springy reverb in there. So very cool. So that's the channel 2. That's the green channel. So now let's get into some high gain goodness here. So we're going to hit channel 3. Now you can already tell it's got some high gain because we got some noise going on here. So this is the purple channel. pretty cool, very aggressive. But we can get even more aggressive with the old aggression there. So let's hit that once. And now you can see it's really kind of getting there. Let's do it one more time. Now we're really getting some noise, so let's take it all out. Same, I didn't adjust the gate at all from channel 2, from that green channel. So it's basically the same level. It's about 60%, and there's absolutely no noise. Okay, now we got a lot more options with these channels, with channels 3 and 4. So we got a bright switch here, same as we had before. You can kind of tell that's kind of got that bright boost kind of to it. Not really a boost, but just a little bit more brightness there. So let's go into the cuts. This is like a mid cut. You can kind of tell that. Let's get into some fat here. Kind of screwed that up. So you can see or hear that fattening of the tone when you hit that. So let's go ahead just for giggles here and let's turn it all on. We got the cut, we got the fat, we got the bright, we got the reverb, we got some noise gate, and we're on the highest aggression level. So this is a lot that you're going to get out of this. Now our gain is only halfway up, but here's a taste of what you can get with the purple channel. Pretty sweet stuff, actually. All right, so that's the purple channel. Let's drop down into channel 4, which is our red channel. As you can tell, the noise gate is off. And I just wanted to, full disclosure, I'm about a foot away from the speakers of the amp with this guitar, so so just so you know. Let's get the noise gate on there. All right, blue channel, or blue, channel 4, blue aggression. So there's blue, there's the red on channel 4. Pretty sweet. And now with the gate on about 60%, I'm just going to hit the high E here. So you can see that decay, how it died out at the end. Now we can dial that back on the back of the amp if we don't want that much of an aggressive noise gate, and we probably don't even need it that high. What I'm going to do is reach behind here and just go ahead and adjust the gate until we hear it. So there you can start hearing it come in. So that is about, so all the noise has gone about 50%. So it's not bad. It doesn't cut off too soon, so you still get some sustain out of it. So you can see it starting to kick in there. So there you go, not too bad. So there you go. Now, what I wanted to do is just compare. If we turn all these on, it's gonna stay. As soon as you dial stuff in on here, it's gonna remember what you did last time. So if we go over here, you can see we had this and these two things. If we turn that off, go back over to channel 3, go back to channel 2, you can see it left it where we wanted it before, which is really cool. So with that in mind, on the foot controller, you can go ahead and hold down on the channel 1 button and go into mode, and you can save all of these individual settings. So if I wanted, you know, channel 2 to be on that aggression with just the gate on, I can save that permanently into the device. And so every time I turn it on and I go into that mode, the saved preset mode basically, then I can dial all these back up again exactly where I left them. Now the only caveat is obviously you can't set all these for the system to remember it. These aren't motorized rotaries or anything. So wherever you have these set is, you know, you'll learn to dial it in the way you like it, so no big deal there. But just so you know, you can program all that in. And in addition, once we go through all the 2-note stuff in a separate video, we're going to cover all the 2-notes capture stuff, or the 2-notes integration, I should say. Then we're going to learn everything about how you can set even the cabinets up per, not only per channel, but per setting on each channel, which is something really cool too. So we'll dive into that a little bit too when we do that video. But just so you know, everything you have is saved per this session unless you go ahead and store it. And you can do that as well with this store button right there. All right, very cool. So now I wanted to compare channel 3 and channel 4. Everything is set pretty identical. All these are the same. Channel 4, we have the same aggression switch. So I'm just going to play a little bit. And we're just going to see if there's any difference between the purple and the red channel 3 and 4. Let's see. I'm not sure if you guys heard a difference. I heard a little bit of a difference. Almost seems like channel 3 may be a little bit brighter, maybe, with channel 4 being just a tad darker, but it's very, very close. There's some nuances there that are a bit different. So they are voiced a little bit differently, but it's very, very close. Yeah, maybe a little bit brighter, but that's about all I can tell. So there you go. That's kind of the generic sounds there. Nothing too complicated, and please don't, you know, knock me for my playing. Anyway, here we go. Let's get out of this and into the conclusion of this whole thing. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed the overview and demo that I did on this REVV Generator 120 Mark III. It is an awesome amp, got plenty of options, more to be discussed as I do some more videos on this, and can't wait to show you guys some more. But before we go today, I just wanted to let you know, like I said, the amp price is $3,299. I just got the standard black Tolex. I did order this from Sweetwater, but you can order direct from REVV as well. There's about a 1 month lead time on new orders, but you can pay a deposit if you'd like, and then kind of pay the rest of it off when it's ready to ship. So you'll make a deposit of $1,799. That'll get your order started, and you'll be good to go. Then you pay the rest when the amp is ready to ship. So if you do order direct from REVV, and their website is revvamplification.com, you can go ahead and you'll get a free t-shirt included as well. So something I didn't get by ordering through Sweetwater. And you know, another thing I want to say too is you can order Tolex colors as well. So they have a whole host of different Tolex colors. I would assume if you gave them an idea of the Tolex color you would want, they could do that for you too if they could get a hold of it. And that's an extra $100. I believe too you can get different colored plates here with the controls and everything, but you'll have to contact them directly and ask them if they can do any of that for you. If $3,299 is a tough pill to swallow for an amplifier, you can go ahead, and they do have two other models out. There's the Generator 100R amplifier, which is the red channel of this amp, so you won't be getting the purple channel, or you can get the 100P, which is the purple channel and not the red channel. So if you don't need all 4 channels, you can pick whatever high gain channel that you want. And you guys have listened to the demo. There's subtle difference there, but maybe, you know, you just liked that tone of the purple channel a little better than red, or vice versa. You can just opt for that if you know you're only going to use one of those. And the price is a little bit better too. It's $2,699, so $2,700 as opposed to $3,300. So you're saving a good chunk of money there by just going with a 3-channel amp instead of a 4-channel. Everything else being the same, so you still get the 2-notes integration, you still get all the other features that I talked about. The only thing you're missing is that 1 extra channel. So that should do it, guys. So thanks a lot for watching, and please like and subscribe, and please comment. Let me know what you liked, what you didn't like, and what you'd like to see in future videos. I am going to cover a lot more of this in future videos, so stay tuned for that. So thanks again. This is John from Guitars and Gear. Have a great one. Talk to you next time.